Part 30, Coming Rebellion. Just when he was thinking about how to get through tonight, the eunuch's shrill voice suddenly came from outside the door. The first prince is here. The first prince? Junlin? What is he here for? Yi Yang got up quickly and went out to greet him. Since he is an elder, he doesn't need to salute when he sees Junlin. So he stands at the door and greets the coming Junlin with a smile. My son pays respects to concubine Yi. As soon as he came up, Junlin gave a big gift, which made Yi Yang a little uncomfortable, and hurriedly bent down to help Junlin, who was kneeling on the ground. Junlin, who was helped up, was quite surprised. You must know that on weekdays, he salutes the elders. And the elders all nod their heads, and then ask him to get up. But Yi Yang was the first concubine who took the initiative to help him. Yi Yang looked at Junlin, who looked very similar to Jun Yi, and secretly said, as expected of own bloodline, the eyebrows and eyes are so similar, no surprise, if this guy becomes the emperor in the future, he will definitely be the same as his father. Junlin also looked at Yi Yang, and saw that although Yi Yang was handsome, he could only be regarded as middle and upper among many beauties, especially compared with Shui Chen, who was like a banished immortal. He was more than half a star behind. Of course, these appearances are all fake, and only those who are truly knowledgeable can gain a foothold in this world. Both of them looked at each other so quietly, making the atmosphere inexplicably frozen. Yi Yang couldn't stand this kind of atmosphere. He coughed lightly and said with a smile, "The first prince is here to find the emperor? The first prince?" Yi Yang was so embarrassed that his toes could buckle a castle on the ground. He tried hard to recall, but he couldn't remember what Junlin's nickname was. Seeing the increasing doubts in Junlin's eyes, he hurriedly changed the subject. The emperor handles government affairs in the Xinghe Palace. If you want to find the emperor, go to the Xinghe Palace. Hurry up, or you will get embarrassed by cancer. Junlin shook his head. My son didn't come to look for the emperor, but to look for you. Concubine Yi. Looking for me? Why? Yi Yang took a step back cautiously. Treasure Palace is a saying. Junlin was speechless. Let me tell you, I'm just a little concubine. And I don't have the ability to help you. If you are really in trouble, go to the imperial concubine. He has great ability, and he can help you. Hurry up. If Shui Chen was here, he would definitely want to scold his mother. My son is not here for his own affairs, but for his father's affairs. Junlin thought of the bad remarks in the palace recently, and his expression revealed a worry that did not match his age. Seeing that Junlin's face showed worry and anxiety that he did not have at this age, Yi Yang secretly scolded this evil feudal society. And a good child would have no childhood. I can't help even a little concubine with the emperor's affairs. Yi Yang refused ruthlessly, not because he didn't help, but because even the emperor couldn't solve it. How could he solve it? Young concubine Yi, you are so smart, there must be a way to help the emperor. Recently, the most frequently heard remarks in Junlin are the glass cups made by Yi Yang, thinking that Yi Yang not only made the best sword Longchen sword, but also made the god of fire punishment. Such a powerful person must have the ability to help his father emperor get rid of this negative remark. Don't put a high hat on me, I don't want to do this. Yi Yang shook his head repeatedly. He just wanted to earn more money, and then go to the cold palace to retire. As for the affairs of the government, he didn't understand, so he couldn't help. Young concubine Yi. Junlin opened his big watery eyes and looked pitiful. Yi Yang firmly believes that if he doesn't agree, this guy will definitely shed tears. Holy crap. This little baby is amazing. He actually learned how to attack with tears. I'm riding a horse. Forget it. Let's not say swear words. But it is absolutely impossible for him to interfere in the affairs of the government. Even if this guy cried to death in front of me, I don't care either. Sure enough, as he thought, when Junlin saw Yi Yang's disapproval, he squeezed out 2 tears and choked. My father can't sleep every night because of the world's major events. But unfortunately I am still young and can't help my father to share the burden. I'm incompetent. Where did this little showman come from? Please take him away. Yi Yang's mentality is collapsed. How does this riding horse look like an 8-year-old baby? I also believe that he is 38 years old. Looking at Junlin, who was gushing about his incompetence while crying, Yi Yang held the white flag high and shouted, I surrender. Go into the room and talk about it. Yi Yang turned and walked into the room. As soon as he heard this, Junlin immediately stopped crying, a sly light flashed in his eyes, and quickly followed Yi Yang and walked into the room. When Xiao Doubting saw that they were talking about something serious, he stood outside the door and closed the door, leaving a separate space for the two of them. I'll tell you my ugly words first. I'll do my best to help if I can, but if you can't, don't force me to help. Yi Yang sat at the table and asked Junlin, who was unwilling to sit down, okay, let's talk. What is it? What happened? Junlin replied with a worried look. Since the last time, young concubine Yi, you attracted thunder in public, the uninformed people in the holy city thought that the gods were dissatisfied with the actions of the father emperor. So they sent thunder tribulations as a warning. Just for this? Yi Yang thought he had hallucinations, and this guy came to him for this? Do these two father and son not communicate on weekdays? Junlin nodded cautiously. Yi Yang is really speechless. It seems that the two father and son really can't communicate. Then again, why hasn't Jun Yi pretended to be a force to attract lightning? Can't watch the weather? No, although He Yan can't communicate with the gods, he can observe the weather changes. He should know exactly when it will rain. Besides, the emperor left a congratulatory letter. Doesn't it just prove that he can observe the weather changes? Then why doesn't the emperor pretend to be forceful? You know, the day before yesterday there was thunder and rain. Could it be? He stood up and walked to Junlin's side, patted Junlin's shoulder, and comforted. You don't have to worry about this. Your father has already found a solution. Really? Junlin's dark pupils were a flash of surprise. Yeah. Yi Yang nodded. When Junlin thought of something, he immediately took away the smile on his face and put on a sad face. But why is the father still unresolved? And he wants to let the people of the holy city spread rumors? If this spread to other countries, wouldn't other countries take this opportunity to attack the Holy Dynasty? Yi Yang had already guessed Junyi's thoughts, and he comforted. Don't worry too much, your father has his plans. Concubine Yi, can you tell me about my father's plan? Junlin was really worried about his father. You know, he is only a relative of Junyi. Little guy, do you know what it means if you want to perish? You must first make it crazy? Junlin shook his head, expressing he didn't know. Although Junlin is more mature and stable than children of the same age, he is too young. And he doesn't know the truths that do not appear in the teaching knowledge. It means that if you want to completely solve the potential threat, you have to let him inflate first. And when the opponent thinks the victory is in hand, give him a hard blow, so that he can no longer resist. After Junlin listened, his eyes flashed, and he praised, my royal father is amazing. And nothing can trouble my father. If you want to praise your father, can you quietly praise it in your heart? Yi Yang is depressed. After sending off Junlin, Yi Yang lay on the bed with nothing to do, thinking about things, and fell asleep after thinking about it. As for whether the emperor came or not, he didn't know. He only knew that he heard from Xiao Doubting the next day that the emperor came last night, but when he saw that he was asleep, he left, knowing that the emperor had come and gone. Yi Yang felt relieved, and it seemed that the emperor would not ask him to sleep. Thinking of this, Yi Yang is so happy that he wants to gain more benefits for the emperor. Maybe when the emperor is happy, he will remove his male concubine position, let him out of the palace, and let him marry a wife and have children. Thinking that this dynasty could have 3 wives and 4 concubines, Yi Yang showed a wretched smile, hee. Just when he was lusting after the good life of 3 wives and 4 concubines. Eunuch Yun arrived and said respectfully, "Concubine Yi, the emperor has an invitation. Look, it's another chance to make a fortune." Yi Yang was so happy. He walked towards the emperor's bedroom with excited steps. In the emperor's bedroom, Yi Yang sat opposite Jun Yi, drinking the good tea very cautiously. The tea is slightly bitter, but very fragrant, and a little sweet after entering the throat. After waiting for a cup of tea to enter his stomach, Yi Yang saw that the emperor was still holding the bamboo slip and looked at it again. And he didn't talk about business at all. This made Yi Yang's heart beat, and he wondered what the emperor wanted to call him. Cough cough. He cleared his throat and asked cautiously, "Your Majesty, is there anything important?" "Why? Can't I let concubine Yi sit in my bedroom if I have nothing to do?" Jun Yi put down the bamboo slip and asked Yi Yang, "What the hell, why did you call me here? Don't you feel embarrassed when 2 big men sit together?" He complained so much in his heart, but he couldn't say it in his mouth, and he replied with a serious face. "The emperor is busy all day long, and this concubine can't delay the emperor's business. What do you think?" Jun Yi was not stupid. He had caught the fleeting depression in Yi Yang's eyes just now. "Your Majesty, the concubine's heart for the emperor can be learned from the heavens and the earth, the sun and the moon can be revealed." Before Yi Yang's words were over, Jun Yi interrupted impatiently. "Okay, I don't want to listen to this flattery. If the concubine is really for me for your own sake, don't betray me." "Holy crap. Do you suspect that I'm going to betray him? Who the hell is that shameless person chewing my tongue in front of the emperor?" "Your Majesty, I can swear by the sky. And I will never betray the emperor." Yi Yang expressed his determination and made an oath with the sky. "The sky is above, the thick soil is below. I, Yi Yang, make a poisonous oath today. And I will never betray the emperor first." Yi Yang doesn't care about the oath. After all, he doesn't believe in ghosts and gods. Of course, there are still loopholes in his poisonous oath. Don't blame him for fighting back. Didn't my beloved concubine say that there are no gods? What's the use of your swearing, my beloved concubine? The emperor asked Yi Yang with a sneer. Yi Yang was speechless. This emperor is so deceitful. Seeing Yi Yang's speechless expression, Jun Yi revealed a smile on his face. "Okay, I won't tease you. I believe you will not betray me." During this period of time, he had already figured out Yi Yang's habits. Now, just this person who is too lazy to reach new heights, if you make him emperor. He can't get up in the morning. Moreover, he found that Yi Yang was only interested in money and was not interested in power. As long as he didn't embarrass Yi Yang first, Yi Yang would not stand against himself for self-protection. Of course, he also thought about it. If he can get Yi Yang's heart, then Yi Yang's talents will be used by him. Yi Yang couldn't figure out what Jun Yi's words meant, so he could only smile and nod in cooperation, but in his heart, he scolded all the 18 generations of Jun Yi's ancestors. "Damn. If it weren't for the fact that you were the emperor, I would scold you to death." "Would you be joking like that?" Scared the old man to death. Just when Yi Yang scolded the emperor happily, there was a knock on the door. Jun Yi suppressed the expression on his face and said calmly, "Come in." The door opened in response, and a man with a strong evil spirit had. He came in and cupped his hands. "Your Majesty, everything is ready. Please move your Majesty to the east gate." Yi Yang looked at the man who came in and raised his eyebrows. He seemed to be called Li Senator. He was the leader of the Royal Lin Army and was in charge of the entire Royal Lin Army. Also, very loyal to the emperor. Jun Yi nodded, turned to look at Yi Yang, and said, "Concubine Yi, go with me to Dongcheng Gate to witness a moment in history." "Why are you going to Dongcheng Gate?" Yi Yang looked confused. "Why did you go to Dongcheng Gate? What history do you witness?" "Thunder." Jun Yi spit out these two words calmly and forcefully.